We all like to think we're really smart with our money. But what if I told you that the biggest financial decisions you make aren't actually being made by your logical brain, but by your gut? So let's dive in and uncover what's really driving our financial choices. Okay, so when it comes to money, we tell ourselves this story, right? It's a story all about logic and being super careful. We like to think we're in total control, making moves like some grandmaster chess player.
I mean, we do all the right things. We build these massive spreadsheets. We spend hours reading reviews. We're glued to market charts. Everything we do is basically designed to prove to ourselves that, yeah, we're making the absolute smartest, most logical choice possible.
So at the end of the day, we're all walking around with this fundamental belief that our analytical brain, our smart brain, is the one in the driver's seat. But here's a question. What if that's not the truth? What if it's just a story? A story we tell ourselves to feel safe and in control. Well, here's the kicker, and this comes straight from the field of behavioral economics. It turns out, emotion isn't just a passenger on this ride. Nope, emotion is grabbing the wheel and making the decision first. And our poor logical brain? It's left scrambling behind, trying to justify a choice that's already been locked in. Seriously, getting this one idea, it changes absolutely everything.
So, why? Why on earth are we wired like this? Well, the answer isn't buried in some finance textbook. It's way, way older than that. It's in our evolutionary history. You can think of it like this. We're trying to run the latest, most complex financial software, but on hardware that's literally thousands of years old. See, our brains evolved for a very different world. A world of immediate, tangible things. Like, is that a tiger in the bushes, and where do I fit in the tribe? Stuff you can see and feel. They were never, ever built to handle these incredibly abstract modern ideas like stock markets or compound interest or thinking about retirement 30 years from now. As you can see here, it's a total mismatch. So what happens when we step into the modern financial world? We're not using a modern brain for it. We're using that ancient, survival-focused brain. That little part of your brain called the amygdala, it's like your internal alarm system. It literally cannot tell the difference between a sudden stock market crash and a saber-toothed tiger leaping out at you. To the amygdala, danger is danger, and it reacts instantly. And this shows you exactly how that plays out in the real world. Your investments drop a few percent, and your ancient brain doesn't think, oh, market fluctuation. No, it just screams, threat! Your logical mind might be whispering, hey, it's just a temporary dip, stay calm. But that gut-level emotional reaction is a full-blown air raid siren. It's just so much louder. Or say a friend rolls up in a fancy new car. Your brain isn't busy calculating the depreciation value. Not at all. It's instantly processing a status shift, a change in the social pecking order. It's all primal. Okay, so how exactly does this ancient wiring mess with us today? Well, it creates these super predictable emotional patterns that are behind some of our absolute worst financial habits. Let's break a few of them down. And that brings us to one of the biggest ones, a concept called loss aversion. And believe me, this is one of the most powerful forces in your entire financial life. The idea is actually pretty simple. Our brains are hardwired to hate losing something way, way more than they enjoy gaining the exact same thing. Just take a look at this. This makes it so incredibly clear. The emotional pain you feel from losing, say $1,000, is about twice as powerful as the joy you'd get from gaining $1,000. That's a huge difference. And this deep, deep imbalance, it quietly shapes almost every single money decision we make, usually without us even having a clue it's happening. So, what kind of behavior does this intense fear of losing actually cause? Well, it leads to all this stuff we know we shouldn't do. Panic selling during a crash? That's pure loss aversion. It's just a desperate attempt to make the pain stop. Or how about holding on to a losing stock for way too long, hoping it'll come back? That's just our brain refusing to make the loss real. It's kind of ironic, really. Our emotions are trying to protect us, but in today's financial world, they often end up doing the exact opposite. Okay, so let's switch gears a little bit, from investing to spending. The exact same principles are at play. We think we're just buying an object, but what we're really buying is a feeling, a change in how we feel right now. Logic is there to calculate the price tag, sure, but it's our emotions that decide what that thing is actually worth to us. This table here, it's like a decoder ring for our spending habits. That $5 coffee you grab every morning, it's not really about the caffeine, is it? It's a little hit of comfort. It's a ritual. That shiny new gadget, it's not just a tool. It's excitement. It's status. And signing up for that online course, yeah, you're buying information, but what you're really buying is hope. Hope for a better future.
So after all this, it might sound a little bleak, right? Like we're just puppets on a string, controlled by our ancient brains, and doomed to make bad choices forever. But that is absolutely not the case. The solution isn't to try and become some kind of emotionless robot. The real goal is to learn how to work with your emotions, to make them your ally.
And that's the big question, isn't it? I mean, if this emotional wiring is just part of our human operating system, how in the world are we supposed to successfully navigate this complex modern financial world?
Well, the answer requires a bit of a mental shift. See, emotion itself isn't the enemy. Unchecked emotion is. The goal is not to eliminate feelings. It's to get better at noticing them, to feel that urge to panic sell and just pause and ask yourself, okay, what is this feeling really telling me right now? Before you hit the button.
So, since we know our emotions can and will hijack our logical brain, the smartest thing we can do is build systems to protect ourselves from ourselves. I love this analogy. Think of them like guardrails on a dangerous, winding mountain road. They don't drive the car, you still have to do that, but they're there to keep you from flying off the cliff when you hit a slick spot or get spooked. So what do these financial guardrails actually look like in practice? Well, first up, you've got automatic investing. This puts your long-term goals on autopilot, so you're not tempted to time the market based on fear or greed. Next, an emergency fund. This isn't just money, it's a fear buffer. It's what keeps you from making panicked decisions when life throws you a curveball. Spending limits are huge. They create those intentional boundaries before you're in the heat of the moment. And finally, something simple like a cooling-off period. Just a 24-hour rule for any big purchase. It's amazing what that little bit of time does to let your logical brain actually chime in on the conversation.
And this is maybe the most important takeaway of all. Relying on sheer willpower or discipline to make good money decisions, that's a losing strategy. Why? Because discipline is like a muscle. It gets tired, it's fragile, and it's the first thing to go when you're stressed out, tired, or scared. But a good system just works. It runs in the background, automatically, protecting your future self from the emotional whims of your right now self.
So, I want to leave you with this one thought. Don't get overwhelmed and try to fix everything at once. That's not the goal. Just focus on one small thing. What is the one system, that one simple guardrail that you can put in place this week to make things just a little bit easier for the person you want to be in the future?
All sources and references for this video are listed in the description below. This video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. Please consult a licensed professional for your specific situation.